This is a video where I quickly explain some useful tools you can find in Clip Studio Paint. The tips are separated in chapters, so they're easier to find. So without further ado, let's begin with... You can scroll through blending modes, transparency, and the various settings you can find in tools. This is much quicker than selecting things individually. So you have a drawing and you want to move it. The quickest option is to hold Ctrl and drag the image. The other way is to press Ctrl T and you get presented with the transform tool. You can scale it by dragging the little boxes on each corner. Hold Shift if you want to keep the aspect ratio. You can rotate it by dragging outside the box. You can also distort it by holding Ctrl. Flip it vertically or horizontally with these buttons and reset it by clicking on this button or pressing cancel. Oh, by the way, there's also a more hidden transform tool which you can find in Edit, Transform, Mesh Transformation. Try it out! A quick way to color is to use the Auto Select tool. There are plenty of settings to make it work with what you want selected. Let's make 2 circles, one with and one without a gap. We select everything outside the circle and then invert the selection with this button. Now you can color everything without a hassle. If you have a gap like here, then you can set the width of the gap so treat as closed over here. However, to have a higher quality result, I suggest you close the gap yourself with the base color, which you can change after. You don't need to keep it selected the entire time, since there's the lock transparency tool. If you enable it here, you can draw over the coloring in the selected layer. If you want to quickly add another color, you can go over here to the line tool and select the lasso fill. So anything that you select gets automatically colored. It also has a stabilizer so it doesn't look wobbly. I see plenty of artists struggle with making straight or curved lines by hand. This is where the ruler tool comes in. There are plenty of rulers to choose from, but we'll focus on the linear and curved ones in this video. Make a new layer and place the rulers where you need them to be. Hold Shift to snap it to a 45-degree angle. Set this to show in all layers. All you do now is draw on the rulers in another layer and see the magic happen. You can also use this for making line art if you are a mouse user. Need to move or change a ruler? Click on the operation tool, set it to object, and click on the ruler you want to modify. There are 2 3D models by default, but you can download more in the assets. These are useful for practicing basic proportions and a lot more. Click on the folder at the left which has a cube, which is the 3D material folder. Drag and drop the model you want to use. Click and drag the individual parts to move them. Left click and drag to rotate the camera. Middle click and drag to move the camera. Right click and drag to zoom in and out, and scroll to change the field of view. Once you post it, switch from the operation tool to something else. So those were a few quick tips I wanted to share and I hope they help.